What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV outside here at Brentford Community Stadium. It's finished 2-2 in Ange Postecoglou's first game. I mean, first of all, what a welcome Ange Postecoglou got by the fans today. I'm here with Nathan, by the way. How you doing, Nathan?
All very well, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. I mean, look, first game under Ange, great reception from the fans. I thought losing Harry Kane just over a few days ago, I thought it was a really good reception and good mentality from the fans today, first and foremost.
I think also the fact that they did the huddle right in front of the away end kind of showed the collectiveness and kind of got the fans on board as well. It's been a tough week for everyone, you know. Yeah. People inside the club, outside the club, it's been a tough week. So I think that kind of unified the team going into a big season, you know. It's a lot of them need to step up now, but a lot of positives for a first game.
100% a lot of positives, and I think we started on the front foot today. First half, I mean, look, we did get caught a few times. We dominated possession. We were looking for those openings. I did feel like we looked a bit narrow. And maybe didn't show that attacking, that killer instinct that maybe we can do with the players. But do you think that's just teething problems, or is that something that Ange needs to work on?
I think being narrow is part of the process. They're trying to get a midfield overload, so one of the fullbacks goes more central. But it's more about, it will take time. You know, we're going from a counter-attacking team who've sat off teams for the last 4 years into a possession-based team. It's not going to happen overnight. Yeah. But you could see that a lot of the patterns that were good. I thought Basuma was excellent.
He was a boss in the midfield today.
The way he has the confidence to pick the ball up in such deep areas and drive with it, and has a lot of flair. Maddison picking up some really nice positions. Adoji for a Premier League debut, I thought was absolutely phenomenal today. So yeah, I think overall it's a good point. You know, this is a tough place to come to. Not many teams come here and get results. So you know what, for Ange's first off everything that's gone on over the last few weeks, we'll take it. I
thought we looked more dangerous in the first half, but I think we had a bit more control in that second half. Yeah. And, you know, we hardly let them come into our own half at all in the second half. Maybe a couple of times on breakaways where they did come a little bit close, but they seem to create maybe better openings than us. Would you say to that today?
I would say they hit us on the counter. They hit us where it hurt us. And I think you only need to probably look at the XG in the sense that they were pretty clinical when they were going forward, whereas we had to be patient. And I think that's us fans, we need to kind of get used to that as well, because we're used to, when we did score, quick counter-attacks. So we've got to learn to be patient, and we showed it with the second goal, to be honest. I mean, we were moving the ball, trying to move their centre-backs and full-backs, and then just out of nowhere scored. So I think it will take time, you know, and that's why actually being out of Europe gives the manager 5 days a week on a training field to get his message across to them. But I think a lot of positives. No one for me in a poor game today.
Well, let's talk about Rishi then, because you know he was making a nuisance of himself up front. I thought his touch, every time, or especially in the early stages of the game, first 75 minutes, every time he got it, the ball was just bouncing off him. Do you think that will come with time? Is he the man to take us in that number 9 role?
I don't think he's the man, but I think he can fill a shoe for the first half of the season. I think, like all of them, it comes with confidence, doesn't it? He needs his first goal under his belt. I think the way that we're playing now, our forward just needs to stay in the box and just be a nuisance and hold the ball up, and it will come, I hope. I
kind of feel like if we played that exact game and it panned out the way we did, but we had Harry Kane instead of Richarlison up there, that's a win. That's 3 points today.
That's the thing, I don't know for sure.
Do you not think so? Because you know those chances that Richarlison got, the times it was bouncing off him.
What Kane's best at doing is dropping deep, and that's not to say that he can play that role, because we all know he can play whatever system you want to fit him into. But I don't think we didn't win the game today just because we didn't have a number 9 that could stick the ball in the back of the net. I just think they're a hard team to break down, you know, and this is a tough place to come to. You know, you'll see over the course of the season, not many teams will pick up positive results. It happened last season, so. No, I think we've got to be patient. We've got a really tough start in regards to Brentford and United. It's good that we didn't lose today, because I think that gives everyone a bit of confidence. And for a team that didn't score too many, right? You know, we scored twice today, so you know there's a lot of positives I would take from that.
And first of all, it was a great opening goal, bullet header from Christian Romero. Maddison with an unbelievable delivery. I mean, you really saw today what Maddison's going to bring to us. In his first game, he even had the captain's armband at one point, got himself 2 assists. I mean, what a performance from James Maddison.
He's such an exciting player. The way that he picks up the positions, the way that he receives the ball on the half turn, his set pieces, I just think we've got a really exciting player under our belts. It's just a shame that we have got rid of Harry Kane the one season, that we have finally brought an Eriksen-like replacement, an attacking midfielder But even when he dropped deep, so confident on the ball. I think the players they look like they respect him massively.
It looked like he was just central to everything that we were doing today.
Between him and Basuma, you can see that when they're on the ball, they just give a confidence to the team that we can create something. Some really good performances out there.
First sightings today of Vicario and Mickey van de Ven. I mean, Vicario looked a bit dodgy in the early stages, but I thought like he grew into the game and ended, all in all, he had a good game.
Yeah, listen, none of the goals were his fault. Nice to see a goalkeeper that can actually kick the ball as well. When he had the ball in the back, he was confident. He played that at the back. I think he did okay. But I think there's bigger tests to come. When we'll really be able to see what he is like. We didn't concede from the penalty, but like a free kick or corner, which is promising. But in regards to Van de Ven, he's had 3 days training.
I thought it was a boss performance from Van de Ven today. It looks like we got a special player.
He's rapid, he brings the ball out well, he's confident on the ball, he's a no mess defender. There was a time when the ball came down the wing and he just smashed it into Rose Ed, and sometimes you need that, especially over the last few years we can play ourselves into trouble, and sometimes we do need to learn to just get it out, and we got a real gem under our belt.
I thought Van de Ven for most of the game he was just cool, calm, collected, made the right decisions, lunged in when he needed to lunge in, won his aerial duels exactly, and I thought it was a near, obviously he got the nick off for the goal, for the own goal, for Wissa's goal, but look, you can't have too many complaints from Van de Ven today, because I think he's come in and took the Premier League like a duck to water, and that's what we wanted.
You would also expect for the large majority of the week that he has been training, it's been him and Romero practicing in a back four.
Yeah.
So for him to then go off and sit with Sanchez, who, by the way, I thought actually
he had a great game today.
The first action he had to do when Emerson got caught out in the first half and the ball's over the top, his recovery, and I just thought even on the ball, he was a lot more confident. So, I think we've got a proper centre back with Van de Ven. We need to be patient with him. He's young, he's new to the league, but I think definitely one for the future. He's got a lot of Vertonghen.
But not only just for the future, he's for now as well, because I think it was a top performance from him today.
No, I agree.
And if he can build on that performance, I mean, what a centre back we have.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that we do need one more in there, because I think today proved that when you take Romero off, in an ideal world, we don't really want to be bringing on Sanchez, but he did well. But saying that, we still need to bring in another centre-back. But I think between Romero and Van de Ven, we've got two really, really young top prospects under our belt.
And it's something that we can build a base on, and that's what we've needed for so long.
As well. I mean, that's the thing as well we need to take into consideration,
Even Emerson.
Three of the back five, including the keeper, are new players. They've never played in the Premier League before. Yeah. And you know what? They will only get better as they go on. Confidence will happen. They'll learn each other's games inside out more. So I think, for me, so many positives today. And I'm just glad we can kind of walk out with something to show for it, rather than saying we lost, but there were a lot of positives.
Yeah, I really liked the performance for Emerson as well today. I thought he did a massive job for the team with his defensive work, time and time again, on that right hand side, and that goal. I mean, what a finish that was from Emerson Royale. But look, to close it off, Ange Postecoglou's come in here,
it was the skill.
Second game, that skill as well. That skill from Emerson was dirty.
Emerson,
it was absolutely dirty. But in terms of Ange, I mean, you saw him take off Sonny today, and after naming him captain just yesterday, did that surprise you?
No.
Because I think that's a really good sign from Ange Postecoglou, because a lot of people were worried, like, is Son captain? If he's having a bad game, is he going to be able to drop him? Is he going to be able to take him off? Well, we got our answer today.
100%, and I also think small things like we don't need to be solely reliant on Son. We've been so reliant on him and Kane over the last 4 or 5 years that it's now about building a squad that if you take one of them off, the next person that comes on can do a job as well. I think really impressive. I think come the end, we looked tired. But I also think, and you mentioned about potentially making a sub, but I just felt we couldn't tinker it too much, because you don't always want to. A draw first game is a good result.
I get that, but I felt like Kulu wasn't really playing that well today, and I felt like maybe a bit of more impetus with Pedro Porro, or maybe Manor Solomon to come on might have given us that little bit of energy, because you saw with 10 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, we were knackered, we were out on our feet.
We were, yeah.
But we did dominate it, even going into the final minutes.
Yeah,
and final
I think
seconds
the
of
big
the game.
thing as well for us going forward, especially with the manager, is that we need to have a plan B as well. I mean, it's all good having plan A, but if plan A doesn't work, we need to kind of...
plan A better.
Yeah, well, yes, that as well. But like, there was a moment, obviously, if we never got the goal late in the first half, you would have gone in thinking we need to change something slightly, because it was very pedestrian. They were sat back. But I think for him, the manager, there's a lot of positives to take today.
Are you worried like today, like when teams sit in the back in like really defensive and parking the bus against us? Are you worried about us breaking them down?
I think that's going to be a big struggle for us this season. I think the two biggest struggles are going to be teams parking the bus against us and then us getting hit on the counter attack. But we'll get better, you know. That's just what happens. We've still got so much quality, and I think when it comes to teams sitting back, we need our wingers to be getting as wide as possible and getting crosses into the box, and we need players like Maddison picking up pockets. If you've got both avenues, we will score goals.
It was so positive to see Maddison and Van de Ven perform, and Udogie, and perform like that in their first games, especially at away ground like Brentford. I mean, look, there's so many positives to go on for today. The only negatives I would say is just teething problems within the system, teasing problems within the team. But you can definitely see what Ange is trying to do at Spurs, and I think we're in for a good season. I really am.
Listen, it's positive. I think there's a lot of positives to take today, and a lot to learn at the same time. So I think next weekend is going to be a really good test against United. I think they have done some really good business this window, and I think they'll come wanting to win. And actually playing against a side that's going to try and also get on the ball as well, but they also are masters of the counter attack. And so I think it's gonna be an exciting game next weekend. Two very different opponents, but strong start, hopefully.
All right, we roll on to Manchester United at home in Ange Postecoglou's opener at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next week. Let us know your thoughts on the comment in the game. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below, and we'll see you later. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, come on the Spurs.